Hey everybody, I am really glad to see that you're here, that you stuck it all the way out. That really says a lot to me. That means that you're really serious about building your network marketing business or your MLM business, and that you really see a future for yourself in building this business. You know, network marketing is one of, in my opinion, one of the best home-based businesses a person can have. It is a way to provide passive income that is, has longevity, meaning that, you can create passive income through businesses. And I'm not talking about, financial investments or things like that. What I'm talking about is in your business. So when I talk about a passive income in your business, what I'm referring to is it's a business that you could literally take time away from. In other words, you could go on a vacation for 2 to 4 weeks, and your business is going to continue because of the work that you've put in up front. And so I want to just remind you that network marketing, or MLM, is not a get-rich-quick scheme. And I think that's where, in fact, I know that's where a lot of this idea that it's a scam is because people think that it's a push-button riches, and it's not. It's a way that you can invest in something. It takes time, and relatively speaking, it can happen pretty quick. And when I say relatively speaking, I mean over 1 to 2 to maybe 3 years. And when you look at that in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of time. But the thing is, you've got to put in consistent effort. It can happen quicker. It may take longer. I'm not making any guarantees. The point I want to make is that it is an investment of time and effort and some money. Now, when you look at the potential return on investment, the return on investment monetarily and the time can be exponentially larger than what you put in. Now, that's not a guarantee either, because, and I'm not going to make any guarantees, nor can I make any. That doesn't mean that you're going to have any success. But what we see is that people who make the investment, follow through, and stick with it even in the hard times, do fairly well. And so that's what this training was about. Now, we're going to go to my computer screen, and I'm going to finish this training up today on my computer. As I mentioned in one of the earlier trainings, that I was going to do a lot more showing than talking. It seems like I've done a lot of talking over these last couple videos, but I really want to show you some nuts and bolts and really talk to you about marketing and really how to bring people into your business and how to qualify them. So let's go over to my computer, and we'll take it up there. All right, now I've got you at my desktop, and we're going to dive into funnels a little bit deeper today, or in this training, and we're going to talk about really the purpose and of a funnel and how it works. And so it's so much more than just collecting an email and taking them to a delivery page. And like in the last training, we talked about a value ladder. We're going to take that a little bit deeper and look at how that applies in this process. So the nice thing about this, though, is that we get deeper into creating funnels and building value ladders. There's no coding or programming or really any technical skills that are required. And so really anybody can do this. But with that being said, that doesn't mean that you'll not need to learn to be more proficient, and that there will not be, this learning curve, both in your MLM or network marketing business and in the funnel building and creation process. So it's not just a set it and forget it. And there's a lot of blueprints out there that help you create funnels. But it's it's just like baking a cake. If you and I were baking a cake, we're using the same recipe, chances are that there would be some differences in those cakes just based on us and as individuals and how we put them together. So there is a process, and you really need to be committed to the process and troubleshooting and just continuing to improve on the things that are working. So as we get started in this, the thing that I really want to point out is that the customer is not always right. And when we come up with, that's really kind of a philosophy. I think it's been around forever, and maybe at some point or in some situations the customer might be right. But in our instance and in our example, of really building a funnel for a very specific person. The customer is not always right. We're looking for the right customer for our product. So we're not going to change our product or our offer to meet every customer's needs. Now, in certain instances, when we put a product out there, we want the market will speak to us whether or not it's a viable product. But what we're talking about here is that we aren't looking to market to everybody, and that's the purpose of the funnel, is that we really want to, out of the groups of people that we're marketing to, we want people that are qualified leads and that we can work with. So the customer is not always right, and we need to look at it more from the standpoint that we're looking for the right customer. So the way we do that is through the value ladder that I showed you, and it's a value ladder is something that I, since I've learned it and really started to, I implement it and really think a lot about it, and where I'm at in that and how I sequence my offers, and and so it goes back to the kind of the upside down funnel here that's shaped more kind of like a cone or a pyramid. But we have people that come in at the free offer and get their free thing, and as they progress up our value ladder or up the value ladder, they are introduced to more and more value. It comes at a price. Not that there won't be some free things in there, but we start to add the dollar, and then the farther up they go, the more value and the more it costs. And so we really want to be working with people that are in that third paid area, and that's the idea of the funnel and the value ladder. And it's really designed to, and the intention is to eliminate the tire kickers. And these are people that come along, they get the free thing, never have any intention of spending any money with you or anybody, and if you're not careful, you end up with a list full of these tire kickers. I have, and before I really learned the idea behind a value ladder, or even discovered that idea of a value ladder, which I discovered in a book called Expert Seekers by Russell Brunson, and he shows it, and it's really something that you really want to just really operate by, and it's a tool you might want to stick in your back pocket. Before that, I would run traffic to squeeze pages, and I would end up, and I've spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, actually, if you add them all up, and hundreds of dollars here and there, and it just it adds up. And so the thing that was frustrating for me was that I would end up with these lists, these huge lists of people that were nothing but tire kickers. They wouldn't respond, or they were nominal responders. And what I realized when I learned the value ladder is that it wasn't their fault. In fact, I don't know if I had just tire kickers in there or not, because I didn't have another step. So it's like giving somebody the first step at your opt-in page. You get the email, but then you don't take them anywhere else. And I tried affiliate marketing that way, and so it was always trying to, kind of turn and burn, and I would send them another offer, or I'd send them another, thing to buy, or but I never offered them value. And so that's part of the value ladder, is you're continually offering more and more value, of course, with a dollar attached. And so the idea is that the value is there, and it continues to increase. So, I'm not a tire kicker, but I will sign up to a lead page or a squeeze page, and I will get the free thing. And then really, based on the amount of value I get out of that, and if it's going to benefit me, will determine whether or not I take the next step. So we're kind of bringing people through a process, and we're filtering out the tire kickers. And the way we do that is through a thing or a concept or idea called funnel friction. So here's a snapshot of a squeeze page, and you'll see there, it's not that good, but you can definitely make it out that there is 5 areas right here where somebody's got to do something to respond. So they got to put in their first name, their last name, their email, and a phone number, and then click the button to get the book. So that's 5 points of friction that somebody has to go through to get the book. So a lot of people won't even put in their first name to get the book. And so people will give you an email. They'll give you a bogus email a lot of times to get the free thing. So we want to really filter those people out and qualify our opt-ins to right off the bat. So if I ran traffic, and let's say we ran 1,000 clicks, solo ad to this, and out of those 1,000 clicks, I got we'll say 50 opt-ins, where I got their name, their last name, their email, and their phone number, and they got the free book. And that might seem kind of low, but actually I would rather have that than have 80% or 800 opt-ins where I got an email and they got my free book and then they don't ever respond to me. So I don't want to be paying on my, my autoresponder charges me according to the number of emails I have there. So I don't want to be paying for people that are just tire kickers. So really, what is funnel friction? And so the way I define it, it's an element or within a sales or marketing funnel that qualifies your leads and customers. So it's an element, a process that's built in. And so we, for example, when you look at that squeeze page here, you see the 4 fields in the button. You probably don't, perhaps if you've never heard this, never looked at that as funnel friction. And a lot of people that train you on, funnels or, squeeze page design would tell you that, the more of those fields you put in there, the fewer opt-ins you're going to get. So they say, just an email and a button. So that is, that's a philosophy, but I mean, you got to ask yourself, what kind of opt-ins do you want? So it's an element and a process within your funnel that is intended to filter out tire kickers or freebie seekers. And so there's, there's nothing wrong with getting the free thing, and not everybody's going to buy, but you definitely want to be building in that process. So if you want to get an idea of, of some squeeze pages that are good, and go to Google, type in squeeze pages. I might just drew a blank there, and then you can click on some of those pages, and I checked on some different ones. I looked at a couple different ones, but I want to show you a couple different ones before I take you to those ones I looked at. That was a bunch of words. But anyway, here we are. We've got one here for weight loss, and you get in a free one-on-one coaching, which is the beginning of the value ladder there. So you get a free coaching, and then they're going to upsell you there. And an online community, which is more value, and then you get a product, probably a sample. So you give them your information here, you select what your weight goal is, and then you get started. So they're bringing you in pretty quick into their value ladder. Here's another one, and they have. Let's see if we can make this bigger. It just takes you. There it is. Well, that's not much bigger, but anyway, you got probably their name, last name, email, phone number, a couple drop downs here, and then you get this free marketer's guide to email deliverability. So they aren't just giving their free thing away to anybody. You've got to give them. There's 6 points of friction right there. So chances are a lot of people aren't going to sign up for that, and that's okay. Here we have one. That's the same one. I knew that would catch them. And that's another thing too. I like to look at these and see which ones catch my eye and which ones I'm drawn to, and then I ask myself, what is it about that I'm drawn to? So here's another one over here, and this is one for fixed insurance, and it's private health care and emergency supplements. And so this one's got a number of friction points, and so you put in your zip code here, and then you put in what type of insurance you're looking for. You hit this get a quote. It's going to take you to another page. It's going to ask you for more information about you, your name, your phone number, your address. It's going to get as much information as it can. And by the time you get through these different bridge pages and you get to a product or a quote, they have created a qualified lead, and then this is going to actually go out and sell your lead to a number of insurance companies, and you're going to get bombarded with insurance. So there's another example of how funnel friction works in their favor. And so what you don't want to do is be sending people directly to a product after they opt in. So that's considered a flat web page or a flat offer, and so it really doesn't take you to anywhere as far as getting people into the value ladder. It's kind of a one and done deal. You do have the email address, but you want to get people introduced into a value ladder with a direction of taking them somewhere. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what funnel friction looks like and what to look for and how to build it into your squeeze page. So really, if you want more quality in your leads, you want to increase your funnel friction to act as that filter and qualifier. And so as you're bringing people into your MLM business, you are going to, once they get through your filter and they get into that part where they have the dollar added, you have somebody that's definitely interested in what you're looking for. So there's different ways of identifying the funnel friction, and you can see that in the application processes you go through for the insurance example I just showed you, or applying for loans online, car loans, mortgages, or getting into a good college. They have friction, funnel friction. And so the more information that you have to go through to get into or get what you want is funnel friction, and that is designed to funnel out or to filter out people along the way. So you can use that same principle to your favor. So here's the lifeline of a lead. So when you have your squeeze page here, you have traffic coming in here, whether it's Facebook traffic, solo ads, or organic traffic. And its squeeze page is designed to do one of two things. It's designed to get a yes or a no. So if they say no and I don't fill out, I could have a pop up as soon as I try to leave the page. They'll offer me a paid ebook or something, paid offer. And a percentage of those people are going to say yes, and a majority may say no, and that you can take them to a downsell of that and give it to them for a lesser price or more value at a different or lesser price, and then you can get a percentage of yeses, and then that would bring them back to this checkout page or to a checkout page. If they say yes, then they go to the checkout page, and then it brings them into the funnel or the value ladder of more offers. If they do respond and say yes to your squeeze page, then you take them to the delivery page with an offer, and they go into a bucket or an email list, and they get on your autoresponder, so you're able to market to them through your email other products, and then market your webinar where you can provide exceptional value and with an offer at the end of that. So the thing about it is that when you're in the lifeline of a lead, what you want to do is you want to get them to the place here where you have the dollar added offers and the value. So we're not going to just want to continue to provide value for free. What we want to do is, as in the example of our upside down funnel here, where we have people that come in on level 1 and it's free, and then as they get up to level 2, it's some free and some paid, and then as we get them to level 3, it's more and more value, but it's all paid. And so the idea of our funnel and our funnel friction is to get them to that third level. So that you can see here the process of taking people through the opt-in and creating them into, or qualifying them as a lead. And the lead actually is when they get to this process here. So pretty much anything before that um, is not a lead. So once you get them to here and then they get into the webinar, then they become a lead once they start to consume that value and are willing to pay for it. Now, you got to keep in mind, you've got to provide really exceptional value as you do that. So that gives you an idea of a funnel and how it works and the purpose of a funnel and how to use one more effectively. So as we start to wind up this or wrap up this this training, I want to really encourage you to take action with what you've learned. Go back and watch the videos, watch the free webinar that I have following this. It's an on-demand webinar, and so I'm not sure how long it'll be up or when it might not change. Get out and create your funnel. And so in the webinar, I'm going to teach you and show you and really just let you watch over my shoulders as I create a funnel and an offer as it would relate to the MLM industry or the network marketing industry. And then we're going to talk about sending huge traffic there and different ways of doing that. And so that is a process and another element. And again, you don't have to be an expert at any of this. And then, just keep designing and refining. And I use the example of the cake. And if you're a baker and you could, you have a lot of experience at baking, cakes or pastries, and I went in there and I'd never done it before, even though we had the same blueprint or the same recipe, chances are yours is going to turn out a lot better than mine. But as I keep designing or I keep refining the recipe and the process, I'll get as good as you possibly at baking a cake or the next person. So that's really the design of this and the process. And I'm going to say that you've got to commit yourself to that process, and then keep being and becoming who you want to attract. So that's so important. So everything that you learn, take it and plan on teaching it to someone else. So I hope this has been helpful to you, and I'll see you in the webinar.